I think you are muted on stream. I didn't hear you double over when the stream came
Yep.
online.
You are right. Turns out I'm muted. So I'll reiterate. 2 weeks back, we saw in the LAS, Revenge on the Middle Sticks, the team that we do have playing tonight, take home a victory for the organization, and it looks like they're back for blood here in the LRS. And the Sheepherd, unfortunately, are 0-2, but they're looking for blood. They're coming here strong, and let's hope they are able to take home a victory. So we are starting off in the draft here with a with a Samira and Annie band for blue side, and a Graves and Alistar band for red side.
Yeah, some pretty good bands. We actually saw the power of Annie a few weeks ago against the Yone in the mid lane there.
Definitely.
The Teemo is a lost band because the side of the Rise Millsticks has a sub coming in for their AD carry. It is Otso. So Teemo is a blank band pretty much. As we see the Misfortune go ahead and get dropped off the game here as well, leaving the Kaisa up surprisingly. And as we've seen in pretty much a lot of our games over the past few weeks, Kaisa is a pick or ban for the most part here.
Definitely.
Probably going to get picked up here unless they want to go for something else, and they do decide to go for the Jhin first pick here.
So they're probably going to handshake here for the Kaisa. Most likely. But there are some other picks that they could go, but I'm pretty sure they are going to look to take the Kaisa because she is a very strong champion right now, and overall just scales incredibly well into the late game and has very few weaknesses as an AD carry at the moment, other than her generally low range.
Yeah, and I actually do really like the fact that Rise Millsticks take away this Jhin because Awesome Sheep is an absolute monster at the champion. So that is a really good takeaway. However, it does leave up the Kaisa, which Awesome Sheep goes ahead and picks up there. Almost immediately pairing it with probably the Seraphine. I don't think that is going to go support. I've mainly seen it in mid in competitive play. It is an extremely strong pick with very few counters besides hard assassins or champions that can dive onto her pre-6.
I definitely agree with you there. Seraphine is very, very strong in the meta, and they do answer that with a Maokai pick, so they might be looking to go for the poke with the Maokai support or potentially just flex it to the top lane, but I do see it more in the support role than I do in the top lane at the moment.
Yeah, funnily enough, Maokai isn't even listed as a top laner in League anymore. He's listed as support. He's not in the top tab.
I mean, he does do a lot of damage with that Emax. It's very, very scary. Even in the early levels, he's able to do a lot of damage if you do walk up towards those brushes, which makes it very hard for laners to play towards the backside of the lane. Followed up by a Lilia pick.
Yeah, Lilia has been rising in popularity in the higher elos of play, especially in the pro play scene. Lilia is seeing a lot of play, not as much as, say, the Graves or the Olaf, particularly in the LCK. However, with the Lilia picked up here, paired with the Maokai, that is a lot of AP damage that they've already drafted. And with the pickup from the Jarvan there, I do like this because when my team played against it and we first picked Jhin and they responded with the Jarvan, Jhin wasn't able to do much of anything in any of these fights because Gale Force doesn't go across walls.
Exactly, and that inbuilt terrain built by the Jarvan just makes it very difficult for Jhin to play out, especially if he just gets jumped on from a flank. And it looks like they have two methods of very long engage with the Jarvan EQR as well as the Seraphine beat drop.
Yeah, and just going through more of the bans here, with the Gnar ban, I actually expect maybe a Renekton picked up here in the top lane. Gnar is one of those champions that has an easier time against the Renekton. Responded with by an Aatrox. I don't think Rise and Millsticks actually think that they're going to go with the Renekton top side. However, that is what I expect from the Sheepherd with the Gnar ban. Otherwise, they just don't think it's a great champion to play against. They just want to get rid of it. However, Because of its strong presence against the Renekton, there's very few other counters on the Renekton, so I do expect Renekton to be picked up here for Sheepherd.
Definitely. Considering the ban of the Aatrox, though, I think they are looking for a relatively safe mid laner or safe top laner from Revenge of the Middle Six. They could look to flex the Maokai. Aatrox is not a very good matchup for the Maokai, especially in the early game where it can be punished. And if the Aatrox is allowed to get out of control, it's very hard for Maokai to play the game afterwards. So it could just be they are looking for that top lane Maokai. With the Victor ban, a very strong pick right now, especially with the new system that Victor goes through with his upgrades, makes him a lot more of an early game champion than he used to be.
Yeah, and coupled with the Cataclysm, you can't exactly run away from his status field or his ultimate or pretty much any of his abilities. So getting stuck in the Cataclysm with the Victor is a really bad thing for the Rise of Millstick. So I'm actually really glad that they went ahead and banned that away.
So
Looks like they're
pick up
hovering the set here.
They are a little bit over time. Oh, so they do pivot towards that Renekton pick for their top lane. That was a good pick.
Yeah, and yeah, it was pretty much saying with the Nargon, there's very few counters to the Renekton's early game power. He can just pretty much bully anybody in the game with very little drawbacks, besides maybe Darius, whose early game power is quite strong as well. So I am interested to see what Rise of the Millsticks goes ahead and picks up here in response to the Renekton.
So they will have to blind pick their support. Oh, okay. So double support flex. It could be either a Shen top or a Shen support. I definitely think Mr. Wolven Alchemist is very excited to see this.
Yeah, they could also do some very unorthodox things and put Lily up in the top and make the Shen go jungle. However, that is a significant low chance there.
Yep.
The Lilia top would be a really good answer into the Renekton.
We're looking to see here what they are going to pick up for their mid lane.
I'm just about running out of time here. They're going to go ahead and pick up Ahri. That is a lot of AP damage this Rise of the Millsticks has drafted for themselves here.
Although last week we did see a Seraphine get completely destroyed here by an Ahri, and I'm wondering if that matchup is a little more one-sided than I used to believe it is. And judging from what I saw, it looks like the Ahri is just able to just obliterate the Seraphine, make sure she's not able to get through her weak early game phase without any kills or CS given up.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if they decide to send the Seraphine mid or just go ahead and send to the support with the Kai'Sa there, so that way we can have a counter pick for mid lane. We're about to run out of time here. It is going to be the Seraphine support if this Orianna is locked in.
Yep. So we do see that they have picked up, both teams generally do have a decent amount of AP, especially with the Kai'Sa pickup, Seraphine and Orianna. For Sheepherd, and on Revenge of the Middle Sticks, they have themselves a Maokai, Lilia, and an Ahri. So a lot of magic damage going to be flying around on both sides.
Yeah, and honestly, I really like Sheepherd's draft a lot more than Rise of the Millsticks because of how hard it's going to be to avoid all of this hard CC from the Sheepherd. Pretty much every champion here, it has some form of hard CC that Kai'Sa can ult to. The Seraphine ultimate, the Jarvan Cataclysm combined with Orianna Ball, the Renekton stun will also proc Kai'Sa's passive as well. Definitely. There is a lot of dive potential for the side of Sheepherd, and Rise of the Millsticks, they need to be very, very careful, especially this Jhin and this Ahri. Ahri can definitely get out of all of this, but the Jhin is not so lucky. If he gets even tagged by one of these hard CC spells, he probably just blows up instantaneously.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. It's very scary for the side of Revenge in the Middle Six to play it out, especially with a very immobile backline carry like you did say. But they do have ways to get around that, especially if they do focus on skirmishes instead of full-on team fights. And I think that's what they're going to have to play for instead of going for those 5v5 all-out brawls in the mid lane.
I have just been corrected. It's Return of the Middle Sticks, not Rise or Revenge.
all good so far, though. Everything seems to be going fine in draft. No errors this time, which is really good. We do see that it is the Shen going up in the top lane with the Maokai support. So Maokai, like you said, is considered more of a support nowadays. And I mean, what can you do with all that damage flying out? I don't even think Seraphine has the sustain to deal with that early game of the Maokai, and he actually scales incredibly well, especially with the Imperial Mandate plus Demonic Embrace combination.
Yeah, definitely. The Sheepherd has definitely a lot of options to go ahead and engage. The other side, though, they do have options to hard engage, but it's almost entirely reliant on certain things to go in motion, such as the Shen Taunt or the Maokai Root or the Ari Charm or the Lily Asleep, but all of these are very situational. And if they miss important targets, Sheepherd definitely has a much easier time of getting into these fights and cleaning them up after abilities have been blown.
Yep, I definitely have to say it's a lot easier to execute on the side of the Sheepherd. It will be a little bit more difficult to execute on from the other side, especially they're a very flank-reliant team. Maokai is very poor at engaging from the front. He does need to be on his side in order to get his engages off. So it will be a little bit harder for the side of Return of the Middlesticks to actually play team fights super straightforward, but it definitely is possible, and considering how they're showing for the past couple weeks, I don't doubt that they have it in them.
No, they're 2-0 up right now. Sheepherd is 0-2, so despite having a on paper better drafted comp, the Sheepherd does have the odds stacked against them because they are going against one of the better teams in the league.
Have to agree with you there. It's looking a little tough. The Sheep are the underdogs at the moment, but considering the comp they did draft, I do think it is. I think they're going back to basics, looking for something a little easier to execute on so they can work on their synergy. I think this would definitely be an avenue for them to actually improve their standings overall.
Yeah, and if they could pull a victory off here in this game 1, the Return of the Middlesticks are probably going to have to go back to the drawing board with what they want to draft here, because if Sheepherd can get what they want like this and they win with it, they do have a much easier time in these future games knowing that they can beat them with these types of comps. And there are so many ways to play the same exact comp with different champions that it'll actually be very hard to ban out the Sheepherd if this is the way they want to play and they win with it.
One thing that I have noticed about a lot of Jarvans, even in pro play, is that they do like to over-engage from super far away, hoping for their team to be able to follow up with that. But Seraphine, as a champion, does help negate that with her long-range R that can follow through other champions, including her allies. Right? So it does mitigate some of that Jarvan anti-synergy, which is definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing here, especially with the huge wombo combo that they do have.
Yeah, because if the Jarvan goes in and is at max range of the Seraphine ultimate, it just doubles the range of the Seraphine ultimate, and it could just disrupt everything Return of the Middlesticks want to do here.
I definitely think it's a very interesting matchup, though. A lot of these laners here have performed incredibly well so far, especially from the side of Return of the Middlesticks, but with the champions that have been selected from the side of Sheepherd, it could be a little easier, especially with the range advantage that they do have in the mid lane and in the bot lane and overall power of the Renekton pick. So predictions are open. We are just going to head to a quick break while we do load into game. See you guys in a couple minutes. Alright, you are muted. The comps are very interesting. I like Sheepherd's comp more on paper though.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come with me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, everyone, welcome back. So we do have both sides ready to go here. We have Sheep Herd on the red side and Return of the Middle Sticks on the blue side, looking to most likely 5-point from what we see from everyone's pathing. Looks like everyone's just going for a standard 5-point. No crazy shenanigans in game 1 here so far.
Except for the Lilia, who I don't think knows how to 5-point.
Oh.
Goes to the wrong spot at first.
Okay, there is a little bit of a walkthrough from the Lilia and the Maokai. Jarvan might actually take a lot of poke damage, but he is able to ward it and spot them both out. Although there is a ward placed on his blue buff, but Jarvan should be able to have seen the Maokai throw that little sapling up into his blue.
Yeah, I do think it will expire before the buff spawns. All I do is just stay away from it. I think Kaisa forgot that it's there, though.
Uh-oh. We're gonna watch her health bar. Watching her health bar. Nah, she does manage to avoid it so far. Staying pretty safe. Nothing crazy. Everything is just looking nice and happy. Everyone's looking for a comfy start. We do see the Renekton, though, posturing pretty far up, ready to trade. The Shen, I do not see his Spirit Blade up by the Renekton's tower, which is really interesting to see.
Yep, I think that means that Shen decided to start with Taunt. No, he hasn't leveled any abilities yet.
He just
No,
takes
he just leveled it up.
Yep, he takes a bad trade already. Didn't even try to return an auto.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably a pretty standard early game here. I don't think we're gonna see some heavy shenanigans, at least for now.
Yep.
The Renekton doesn't have a hard engage until level 3. As I say this, he chunks him to half HP.
Trading, but he does lose a good chunk of HP in return. And the Renekton may have the Doran Shield, but I think... Or Doran's Blade, sorry. Doran's Shield, though, is going to help that Shen sustain up a little bit more. Renekton does reach level 2 first, and does try for an engage, but unfortunately is not able to land the Q. Bot lane does have advantage for blue side. Level 2, hit first.
Yeah, it looks like the side of Sheep Herd, they're pushing in pretty much everywhere except for the bottom side. Orianna.
There is an engagement going on in the bot side. Seraphine does land her root, is able to land her damage, and Jhin chunked to half health without much of a response.
Yeah, it was lucky the Maokai managed to block the W there. Otherwise, that would have been the Kaisa proc there, as the Maokai takes a lot of damage here.
The Shen is able to block that empowered W from the Renekton. Very, very well played. Small trade up there in the top lane. We do see the Jarvan looking to potentially go for a gank, or just confirm the top scuttle.
Yeah.
So there is another trade going up in the top lane. Shen does lose out on that.
Yeah, most of these lanes are actually pretty, as we got another engagement.
You see that there is a gigantic fight happening here up in the river. Lilia chunked to a quarter HP, does land the Swirl Seed, and is kiting out the Jarvan. Shen misses his taunt and is unable to stop the Jarvan's path forwards. Jarvan lands his wombo combo, and Renekton here missed the EQ, but Jarvan is able to confirm that with his flash. Though Ahri might be in trouble as well. Orianna here on the flank, up on the wing. She does get charmed up, but she's one-shot by the Lilia and Ahri combo. Down she goes. All in all, a 1-for-1 for the side of for both sides.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know why the Orianna stepped up there. She had no mana.
No HP.
Yeah, and
I
it
don't
was
think she was
just an
expecting
easy
that
trade.
burst. Yeah.
Yeah, and now the Orianna has no summoners. Neither does the Ari. But once she hits 6, it doesn't matter that the Ari doesn't have flash because she'll have the ultimate, which is basically 3 flashes.
Mm-hmm. Do see the Ignite, though, paying dividends so far, allowing that Ari to secure that kill in return. Although that Renekton is looking for a base before taking these pretty poor trades. He is, in fact, hard losing them at the moment because he has no items.
Yeah, and with the Ruby Crystal in hand here, the Shin is going to start winning or will start winning on those trades, at least for now, until the Renekton goes ahead and backs. We do see a small CS lead for the Shin here, despite dying once. Has about 120 gold lead on the Renekton here.
Renekton, unfortunately, was not able to get his back off a little earlier, so will be sitting at that gold deficit because of that. It allowed Deshen to get those trades off and use his health as a resource to stop the Renekton from shoving that wave into tower super early.
Yeah, and the Renekton does get to come back with the Kendall Gem, which does give a bit more HP than the Ruby Crystal, and the also 10% ability Haste. Which, as we all know, we're sad about the... What was that?
Oh, red side is pinging for Dragon. They are looking for it, but unfortunately are not able to get through the vision set up by the return of the middle sticks.
Yeah, they do have a lot of pressure here. The bot side is holding the wave just past the center, making it easy for Jarvan ganks. As the Ari is coming down to ward, she will know that the Jarvan is in their jungle here, so Lily's going to go ahead and take those chickens and already almost double the CS of the Jarvan there in the jungle for the Lilia. And with an assist under her belt, is going to probably even up this gold. Actually, is going to be ahead in gold despite Jarvan getting the first blood.
I do like to see that little bandle glass mirror coming out from the Lilia. It appears as though she is going for the Lunar Stone or Moonstone build along with that Staff of Flowing Water. We do see some trading happening in the bot lane though, but Maokai is a little bit tanky, so he's not going to take all that much damage. But overall, bot lane is playing very well from the side of Sheep Herd at the moment.
Yeah, and this poke is starting to make dividends. It's going to be harder and harder for the side of Return of the Middle Sticks, his bot side, to answer this poke. The Seraphine just has a lot of long-range poke that the Maokai just can't match, and trying to go all in against those two would probably be a death sentence.
The way they are positioning, they're making sure to position a decent way away from those brushes so the Maokai is not able to get those gigantic sapling poke trades that he would love to get off.
Yeah, and
there is a trade going up in the bot lane. Jin chunked a quarter HP just from the Seraphine alone. No follow-up needed, although there is a dive that might be happening here in the mid lane. The Orianna is slept, is charmed, but is able to just walk away without anything burned.
Yeah, there was no minions there to tank up the turret before the engage there happened. Trying to go ahead and go in.
With a counter engage done by the Orianna, chucking the Ari to 1/5 HP. Uses her shockwave, but nothing happens overall. Just a trade of ultimates. But I do think that is overall worthwhile for the Orianna because her ultimate is on such a low cooldown even in the early stages of the game. Especially compared to that Ari's ultimate, who is very long, especially starting off at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off happening up here in the top lane. Nothing comes of it though. Renekton is able to just slice and dice his way away, keep himself safe.
Yeah, and we saw the Jarvan trying to go ahead and sneak that Infernal Drake there, but with the roam from Dyslexic on that Maokai and the Lilia being so close, he had to back off. Jarvan is heading up to his top side, and while Lilia is bot side, that means they might have prio to go ahead and get onto this dragon. Looks like they are just going to ward it and walk away back to their lane, where it should be crashing about dead center here.
Renekton is going in for another trade here, but unfortunately he's not able to land his W and is just taking a lot of damage. His R does go off, he's generating Fury, His Q is going to land, he heals for so much here, but the Shen is just too tanky for him to actually kill and confirm that 300 gold.
Yeah, having finished the Bomby Sender, the Renekton doesn't have the damage yet to just straight up kill the Shen here. He is going to get a lot of platings, but that is the go light for Return of the Millsticks to start up that dragon. Jarvan is in base. He is topside. He's not even heading for that dragon, so it looks like they're just going to go ahead and take it here.
They already assumed it was lost, and they're just willing to take their little advantage up in the top side in exchange for the early Infernal Drake.
And with the Cloud Drake being the next one, let me go look at my trusty list here.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got.
Looks like we're going to have a Mountain Soul.
All right, everyone. Let's hope for a Mountain Soul and prove Mr. Dream correct. Spam Mountain if you guys are hoping he is right, or spam Ocean if you think he is incorrect. We do see Jarvan up there trading the dragon for the Rift Herald, but Ahri is walking up on him, is able to spot him out on vision, but I don't think she does have a chance to steal it. But they are roaming on him. Ahri does miss the charm. Taunt Flash lands from the Shen, and he is just one shot through the Ignite. Fortunately, it might just be a lost objective here, losing out on both the top and bot side objectives in the Dragon and Rift Herald. It's a little greedy there to try and start that up, especially when both his lanes did not have prio up on the top side.
I was wondering who was going to go grab that Rift Herald there. Ends up being the Ahri, as Lily and Shin kind of danced around it for a few seconds there. We do see the Maokai heading towards mid. We might have an engagement from behind. The Ahri, or the Orianna, has no clue.
Lands the root. He is unfortunately dead here. Down he goes. Ignite coming out from the Maokai, and Ahri is able to secure that kill.
Yeah, and that means the Rift Herald is going to be dropped mid here for the Ahri to get some plates in. Ahri is 3-0 on this champion right now, and with the influx of gold from the Rift Herald is going to become a lot
baiting
stronger.
Onto the Jarvan. He's 2 levels down. Maokai is able to land the root, and the Swirl Seed lands from the Lilia. He is taking so much damage here. Shen ultimate coming out onto the Lilia to confirm the kill. Seraphine here lands a 3-man beat drop, but misses her root, and unfortunately is going to die just as well. Orianna might be able to land a 2-man onto the Maokai. Shen here is still alive. Everyone is happening here. Crazy fight. Kai'Sa's dead. Lilia flash over, able to confirm the kill. Renekton here, probably going to be a sad proc after here. Oh my god, that healing is insane. Able to just obliterate the entire backline, but unfortunately just doesn't have the damage to confirm it. And Orianna just walks up too far here and is walking up into a Jhin, into a Lilia, into a Maokai, and unfortunately is getting question mark pinged by the enemy team and perishes for her actions.
Yeah, deciding to run in there, and upon teleporting to that fight, immediately flashed for that shockwave. Didn't really mean much of anything, as the Return of the Millsticks are now taking a 3,000 gold lead over their opponents, and the Rift Herald was used mid, getting that plating. So the Ahri, despite getting shut down by, I believe it was the Orianna getting that shut down, which almost closes the gap between them as well.
It's still about an 800 gold lead for the side of, or for the Ahri in comparison to her lane partner, but a little help does definitely help that Orianna. Little change in the wallet might help out.
Yeah, and now we're starting to see a separation between the Renekton and the Shen's CS, almost 30 CS up on the Shen here, as Renekton goes in for another trade.
He is taunted up. Shen is just trying to kite it out and is able to make sure he gets out without losing his life or even any of the minions.
Yeah, and that is a 2-level difference between them as well. The Renekton is a lot stronger than the Shen, because the Shen hasn't really been able to leave his turret, except for when he got the chance to ulti in that last fight, which did turn the fight around, I believe, just a little bit.
Maokai is looking for the flank on the Orianna, but she is walking up to her jungler. However, the Renekton here landing a lot of trade damage over. Oh my god, that charm was so close, but the shockwave is landed from the Orianna, but unfortunately, nothing is able to come of it. 2 levels up, the Lilia does go in on the Jarvan, just kiting him out, doing so much burn damage, so much tick damage. It's impossible for him to actually land anything.
Yeah, and this is the I believe it's going to be the Moonstaff build for the Lilia, despite the usual Liandry's, what's it called now? Liandry's Anguish, thank you. Liandry's Anguish and the Demonic Embrace that we usually see for that extra burn damage, but with the Lilia's healing, it will midgetate some of this dive, and we've actually seen it quite a lot happen here in this game. All of that dive potential that the side of the sheep herd have is being midgetated by the amount of healing that the Moonstone Renewer managed to put out. And once Staff Flowing Water comes, it's going to be very difficult to actually kill these targets.
Lilia is able to make up for the support difference that they are sort of experiencing with the lack of healing because they did pick that Maokai. They are going to confirm the second Drake of the game, though, and we're about to see if you are correct. So it is an Ocean Soul, unfortunately. No Mountain.
I need to update
They are
my list.
engaging onto the Lilia here. She is trapped in the baby cage and is just going to be popped by the Kaisa, landing her Q. Although there is another trade going on the top lane. Renekton able to just not win out on that trade. He actually ended up losing out slightly with the slight HP disadvantage. However, he should be able to sustain that all up with the empowered Q in the middle of a wave.
Alright, I see what my list did here. If it's Cloud and then Infernal, then it is Mountain. If it is Infernal then Cloud, then it is Ocean.
Ooh, so your list was correct. You just misread.
Yep.
Two-man charm landed up here by the Seraphine. Jarvan does not manage to land anything, but Jhin might just be dead here, is not able to run away fast enough, but the Shen R is able to turn the fight, kill the Kaisa. Jhin 1 HP is going to fall, and overall, it's looking very dangerous for the side of Sheepherd, but they are able to get away. Seraphine is alive for just for the moment. Jarvan is able to flash out, confirm the kill, and live. Orianna's here also, and Shen might just be a sit and duck here, but he is incredibly tanky at the moment, so I think he's able to just walk it out.
Yeah, and that means Renekton gets to go mid and stop whatever push that the side of, or that Return of the Middle Sticks Winged Nation on this Ahri is able to put out, because that turret is very low here. No turrets going down yet, and we're at the 16-minute mark with two drinks down. Kind of surprising, seeing no turrets down at this time.
A little strange. The Rift Herald was called before at 5 plates on the mid lane, so it was not actually able to confirm it, but the Ahri here might be able to get it, but Orianna's zooming over, able to stop that from happening. And sitting on Vision is the Jarvan, so she just has to back off and not get the turret. Although Lilia is spotted out on a war, or not spotted out on the Raptor Pit, she is just too fast for anyone to land anything, though. Zoom in, incredibly fast, very difficult for both sides to play out.
And she was getting collapsed on quite hard here.
She is just too fast. She's on skates. Sending out another bowling ball.
I'm still trying to figure out how Lilia works. She's a very strange champion.
Very strange. But there are many ways to build her, and I do think she is very good at the moment. But you have to be able to play her. Nice route from the Seraphine, though, but nothing comes of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Maokai chunking back with some of that damage there on his saplings.
Unfortunately, he does not have a full completed item, so he is not doing all that much damage at the moment. Seraphine, we do see here, starting off with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter as her first item. A very interesting choice.
Yeah, it's so for Seraphine, her slow on, I believe it's her, which one is it? Her W?
No, her E.
Her E.
Flash out from the Maokai here. They are going in, Renekton generating Fury with his ultimate, but unfortunately, they are able to kite it out, and Maokai is able to live with only his flash burnt. Although they do give up mid tower for that exchange of summoners.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give up bot tower as well. There's still nobody down there to stop this Shen split pushing, and he's going to shove that wave into the tower and probably just take it.
There is a flank here coming out. Jhin, 1 HP already. However, the backline of Sheepherd is just going to get blown up by... Oh no, the Renekton is able to sustain so much. The Seraphine also shielding and healing, keeping everyone alive, although she does fall in the end. Jhin did not die at the beginning, but he does die now. And it's a very split fight here. However, they are pushing into enemy territory. Blue side is just able to win out on these trades, although no one's hitting the Kaisa. Kaisa's able to do so much damage. One more auto, 2 more autos, and he is down. Lilia does manage to confirm the kill by giving Ahri that little bit of damage, and she just one-taps the Orianna with her swirl, with her little move speed buff here.
That was a very close fight. The health bars on the side of Return of the Middle Sticks are so very, very low there. Ahri surviving with the sliver of HP, and I'm pretty sure if that Orianna landed that the Q onto the Lilia. I do believe Lilia does die there. Unfortunately, misjudging just how quick Lilia can move and missing the Q onto it. However, with the Rift Herald in hand, they could use this to gain priority over this dragon and stop the dragon stacking.
The Kaisa unfortunately did get hit by an Ari Charm at the last seconds of those fights, which could have been the game changer here. It could have put a lot of gold in her pocket and helped her take over the game like she almost just did right there.
Yeah, and right there, that's what I was, as we got another fight going
here.
on
Maokai is almost dropped, almost at 1 HP. He is killed by the Jarvan with the Goredrinker. Thirsting Slash here. Very thirsty, very hungry. And they do confirm that kill without any return kill in exchange.
Yeah, and without that, without one of their hard engagers there, I don't believe they actually try for this dragon here. I think they just go ahead and pull it out here, and it goes over to the side of the sheep herd.
They may be looking for a steal. Lilia is trying with her Swirl Sweep. Bowling Ball does not land, and it only does hit the Sad Croc. So unfortunately, nothing able to come of that steal attempt. Although they are looking to avenue into the mid lane, Jarvan looking for that engage. Unfortunately, is not able to land it. A little too far there, out of his reach.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying about the Riley's Crystal Scepter being such a great buy for Seraphine. So, you know how the first proc of her abilities will slow a champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Riley's Crystal Scepter automatically slows them, which means she gets a stun or a snare on the first time she hits her ability.
So I'm guessing what the interaction here with that item is that the slow from Riley's applies first, and because Seraphine's E hits after, it does count as the root. So that means
Correct.
if she lands a double E, she is able to get a guaranteed stun.
That is correct, yes.
Very interesting interaction.
A very interesting interaction I found out while going in the practice tool learning that champion.
We do see Ari shoving in that top lane, although the top tower is almost at full HP. So it's going to be a little rough trying to take it down, although the Maokai might be looking on the Seraphine here. Ari does land her R, does land the charm, and Seraphine is just bonked over on the head by the Lilia. But they do trade that kill over for a bot side tower with that Rift Herald, and they are trying to hope to get that second charge off, but Shen uses his taunt too early and is not able to get out of the baby cage, although he might just be tanky enough to make it out with his Shen R and is able to live on just a sliver of HP.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
They don't have the damage.
To get something back here.
They're
But
just too far
those
behind.
two,
Yeah.
the Jarvan and the Orianna, just not having the damage yet. The Orianna splitting her purchases in multiple different avenues, has the Oblivion Orb, has the Tear of the Goddess there. Not able to finish that kill because she just doesn't have the damage yet.
Very unfortunate series of events happening here. They may get a tower, but they lose 2 in return. They may get a kill, but they also, or they don't even get a kill, but they lose the Seraphine. Very unfortunate series of events here happening for Sheep Herd. Although they are trying their hearts out here.
Yeah, and they burned all their hard CC trying to kill the Shin there, so Shin manages to just ult away. They're very unlucky. They lose 2 turrets for it as well, and a kill. And this gold is still only about 3,500 gold. It's actually stayed the same consistently throughout this entire game, but that's still 3,500 gold. That's separating the teams, which means Return the Middle Sticks is just 3,500 gold stronger.
A lot of that gold is on the Lilia and on the Ari, so those two are the champions that they do have to play through at the moment. The Jhin here is just more there for utility at the moment. So far not doing the damage that he does want to do.
Yeah, he also had to split his build into multiple different directions there. He has the Bramble Vest, which is great against both the Renekton and the Jarvan, but picking up the Negatron cloak there. Sorry, I had to read the name because I forgot that they changed how it looks. I'm used to seeing it in TFT with the old look.
Little interesting here that they did change it up so much from what it used to look like, but change is a good thing, and I'm hoping Riot does continue making the game as good as it can be.
Yeah, looks like they're doing some early setup around this dragon, trying to get that third dragon here started up in about a minute. the side of the sheep herd, if they manage to extend this game to a soul and they manage to get 4 ocean drakes, the amount of healing that they will have on top of the Seraphine is going to be enormous.
The Seraphine here itemizing into Zhonya's Hourglass, a very greedy setup here, playing more for herself than she is for the team, especially with the way she is itemizing.
Yeah, it still doesn't have a mythic item yet. Everybody else has completed one, and the Seraphine still lacking it, and still on tier 1 boots as well. Not even going for the upgraded boots for a little bit of extra movement speed there.
You do see the Lilia sitting on 3 items now, incredibly strong, doing so much damage, and able to heal just as much too. We can check here how much healing that Moonstone Renewer has done, and it's already done just over 2,000. Very, very efficient item.
Yeah, and with the Shen and Renekton up top, the Renekton can...
Although there is an engagement here on the Maokai, is about to get popped, but no, Shen R does come in, and instead it was traded for the Kaisa, and unfortunately, it might just be game here. So much damage coming through. Maokai does just walk away with that fadeaway ignite. A Renekton here flashing onto the Ahri, might just get her, is able to slice, is able to dice, but unfortunately is not able to cull the meat here, and it's just unfortunately traded out and dies. A sad
and that's a 5-for-0 trade for the side of Return of the Middle Sticks, and they just go ahead and pick up this 3rd Drake for free, and it looks like they're starting to already rotate over for Baron.
Very smart decision, just keep the Lilia on there. She can heal herself. She's fine. But, oh, it's such a bad game state for the side of Sheep Herd. It's looking really difficult now. And unfortunately, they weren't even able to pop the Maokai. He is building incredibly squishy, but that Shen ultimate coming in just in time to keep him alive. Just in time to make sure they're able to kill the Kaisa. And Ahri was playing that backline assassin role very perfectly. She was able to jump onto the Kaisa and pop her at the beginning of the fight, making sure she's not able to output the damage that she was almost able to output at that blue buff jungle side earlier in the game.
Yeah, and they just go ahead and pick up this for free. The Jarvan had almost made it there, but decided to clear a ward and go ahead and back off once the Baron was taken, not wanting to risk his life to try and steal that there. And we're seeing that the side of the Sheep Herd, they're really struggling to actually execute their comp. In that last fight, the Seraphine only ulted the Maokai, thinking they had a pick, not having vision of their own jungle, and the Ahri on the other side of the player really cost them.
The only thing that they do have going for them is the fact that the Renekton has a gigantic CS lead, but unfortunately it's not even enough to keep up with his lane partner. It's incredibly difficult for them to play it out at this game state. Their champions are starting to fall off. The Jarvan is not able to burst down as much as he should, and the Renekton here is just going to become a pair of crocodile leather boots, unfortunately.
Yeah, not able to get past the amount of healing that they have. We do see that the Orianna is still trying to work on her 2nd item here. Meanwhile, the Ahri has picked up a Magi Soul Stealer.
Sitting at 10 stacks. It's a lot of AP.
So is the Lilia, has 4 items with the Magi Soul Stealer as well.
All that magic damage, and all I'm seeing is Merc Treads.
Yeah, but they don't really have any defenses against it. The Seraphine's still trying to get items here. Can go back and purchase the Zhonya's at her convenience.
Jin is opening up here, landing some shots here, but I think they're just looking to push them away. Nothing comes of it. Maybe that was a misclick, I'm not too sure, but we do see a trade coming out here from the bot lane. That Shen just takes almost 0 damage. The Renekton unable to even break 50% of his HP, although a charm is landed on the Lilia. Shockwave follows up too, Baby Cage onto the Maokai, and so much damage is taken, but he is able to walk it out and not die. Jarvan, on the other hand, walks away with his... But Gale Force is strong, and down goes the Seraphine. Insta-pop, not even close.
Yeah, and the Renekton has been chasing this Shen the entire time, making sure he couldn't get into that fight, and they still managed to win it here. Renekton is now by himself.
He is getting dove here. Taunt is missed, and he is going to survive with the Gorjunker, with the Starax. Jarvan here maybe trying to look for a trade kill onto the Maokai. Unfortunately, Kaisa's not able to land last auto. She is able to aura forward and grab it. Charm landed, but nothing comes of it.
Yeah, and they managed to take a 2-for-1 fight while the other team has the Baron. This is signs of life coming from the side of the sheep herd here, as they're trying to claw their way back into this game, but they're still sitting on about a 7,000 gold deficit here. It's going to be a monumentous climb for them to come back in this game.
Very, very rough game state. Lanes are pushed, constantly pushing. Mid lane, inhib is already down. They're bleeding gold, and they need to find a way in. They need to look for pockets of vision where they can grab some picks, and unfortunately, they aren't able to find them at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if the sheep herd can claw their way back into the game. But the EXP, as the Seraphine is looking like she's going to be collapsed on by the Lilia, but with that slow there is just going to be able to walk away.
I don't know what to say. It's looking very rough for the sheep herd. I do wish them the best of luck, but it's looking insurmountable. The Shen is pretty much unkillable. That Lilia is healing just as much as the Seraphine, and the Maokai just doesn't die either, even with his itemization. He is just too tanky for them to actually break through before the Shen can ultimate on him.
Yeah, and look at the look at the level difference between the Lilia and the Charbon here.
Oh
That's a
no.
4-level difference.
Oh no, you're not winning any smite fights with that, my friend.
Yeah, the only way you win that smite fight is you kill the Lilia.
Lilia
that's
must
it.
die,
That's the only way
but
you
they
win.
have Jin 4th shot too. It's so hard to win
and that
these.
can outsmite people.
It's looking so rough. Jin is also level 13, a level up on the Jarvan too, so it's even harder for him to get these smites if he's lucky, but the Seraphine is just flash E'd on by the Ahri and is just immediately eviscerated by the Lilia coming in to yoink that from the mid laner.
And without that, they just have to give up the soul, and oh boy, if you thought they didn't have enough healing last time, just wait.
Ooh. They're unkillable now. That Shen is never going to die. And Renekton might try and trade it here, but he can't even break the shield. The Shen is trying to kite out. I think he actually can just live it. That Renekton is very scared. He's running away. Flash E, or Arf E is able to be dodged by the Orianna, but unfortunately she's rooted by the Jhin and falls. Renekton looking to stun him up here, and he is trying to trade out, maybe get a trade kill onto the Shen, but he just doesn't do enough damage. He may be tanky, he may be able to heal, but the Shen can heal more. He has an Ocean Soul, and he also has no healing reduction.
Yeah, and I think this might just be it.
I think Shen here
can't go ahead and get back.
I don't think he will be able to if Shen should be trying to stop that port, stop the base, keep him out. Renekton is the only way they can win that, although the charm is landed on the Ahri. She is destroyed before the fight can even begin. Although Jarvan might just be traded out here, he is super tanky, able to live it with the Sterak shield. Lilia here healing the rest of the team for so much, wasn't in range to heal the Jarvan. Awesome Sheep here getting QSS just too early, unable to actually cleanse anything. Shen flashing forward onto the Kai'Sa, and she just can't do any damage. She doesn't do damage. Oh no, no, no. It's just too sad to watch as an 80k Uri player. Thank you, Direct-to-Cam, for running away from that. And two-man sleep landed, and wow, that Seraphine disappeared. One Q from the Lily just took away half the HP of that Seraphine. It's just too sad to watch at this point.
Yeah, they do manage to push them out of the base. The health bars are a little bit low, and the Renekton's Dominus is coming up here soon. But they do lose another inhibitor, and Baron is up.
This is gonna be scary. This Baron, I potentially think, is game here. Even though they already do have Ocean Soul, I think this will be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only way that I can conceivably see of a way for the side of the Sheep Herd to actually win these fights, because of how low they did manage to get the enemy team, if this game gets long enough and they can get the Elder Dragon, it could just swing the fights entirely in their direction, because the stopwatch is now gone from the Maokai, the stopwatch is gone from Jhin as well. Ahri does not have a Zanyas going entirely offensive with her build, so the only one that could conceivably survive the Elder Dragon is the Lilia with the Zanyas, but the rest of them, if this Elder Dragon does come up and they manage to get it, this game could just swing on its head very, very quickly.
Definitely. It definitely is winnable, but it's looking even more dire. Desperate measures call for desperate measures, but Jarvan is just sitting in base here. I don't think
I
they
don't
even
think
have a
they even
chance. They
try
don't
for
even
it. Yeah,
know. They're just gonna
yeah.
let them have it. And
Maybe just a random Kaisa Q could maybe steal it.
maybe? Unfortunately, they are
Ooh,
not able to confirm that, and this
that
could
was
be it.
very close.
Very
Had the
close, though.
timing. Yeah, had the timing perfect there. If the Lilia did not have Smite there, it might have just gone over.
Chat is telling us that only the Orianna does have healing reduction into an Ocean Soul, which is very insane. And wow, no damage dealt. Seraphine forced to flash out, but she's sitting in the middle of 4 and is blown up. Although the shockwave lands onto 4, it's just not even close. They're just hitting them with their wallets at this point. But Renekton here may be able to do so much work here. That shield is gigantic. He unfortunately cannot out-sustain the damage and is going to fall. I do believe some healing reduction is required for them to even have a chance. That Lilia, let's see that healing now. Sitting at 6.5 thousand healing done from that Moonstone Renewer alone. And this might just be game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be game here. We already see players from the Sheep Herd going ahead and leaving the game here. With nobody up to respond, I believe this game is over.
Yep. This was an unfortunate showing here for game 1 here. Let's hope they do come up with another game plan for game 2 to take
Yeah.
down Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, and it's definitely no game to be disappointed in, despite how heavily they were losing the early game. The fact that they managed to claw their way back in and prolong the game as long as they did for a soul and a second dragon to come up, almost long enough for the Elder Drake. You have to give yourself props for holding out that long, because if that game went on any longer, I do believe that the Sheep Herd could have turned it around and won the game.
They definitely had a chance, but it was a little too uphill of a battle. They did not have the healing reduction I think they needed. If they did have it, I think it could have been a much closer fight. With the
Yeah,
little bit of healing reduction, they could have stopped that Lilia from just constantly healing her team, because that tick damage is constantly proccing the Moonstone Renewer, and that just means she's constantly healing her entire team. And Ocean Soul on top of that, I'm surprised only Orianna had the Morella Nomicon.
yeah, and despite the Rylai's being a great buy here, I really don't like the fact that the Seraphine did not buy a mythic item the entire game.
I think they were relying too hard on power spikes, and they were relying too hard on niche item picks to win the game. I think if they itemize a little more efficiently with like some healing reduction slotted in onto the Renekton or the Kaisa,
Yeah, 'cause
especially the ones dealing that
Renekton,
AoE damage.
yeah, definitely, because the Renekton diving into their entire enemy team, if he had even a hint of healing reduction in his items there, those fights could have turned out very, very differently, because Renekton survived for so long in the middle of the enemy team. And same with the Jarvan too. If it looked like he might have been building towards it, it looks like either that or he's going for the Gargoyle Stone Plate. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But even if both of those champions had any sort of healing cut along with the Orianna, I do believe these fights would turn around very quickly.
It was the Renekton diving onto them. It was the Jarvan diving onto them, and neither of them had the healing reduction they need to take down the backline or the front line. And Maokai was just able to tank and sort of sustain his way through a lot of those engagements. They were looking to pick that Maokai because he was building relatively squishy, but they were not able to do the damage. They were not able to turn it around, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate loss for the side of the Sheep Herd. However, like I said earlier, don't take it to heart. You still got one, maybe two games here to go ahead and play. Uh, go ahead and get that reverse sweep, guys.
So we're just going to take that over to break. We'll see you guys back in 5 minutes. 6,500 healing by the end of the game. No wonder you guys voted Mr. Lexus as your player of the game. He also did a lot of damage, going 10 to an 11. There's not much to say other than he played incredibly well. Thank you, chat, for letting me know I was muted. But I definitely do agree with your choice. Mr. Lexus, Mr. 2004, played so well. He was able to heal his team. He was able to damage. He was able to do almost anything that you needed him to do. He had CC. He had healing. He had damage. What more can you ask for out of a jungler who's constantly able to gank and be there when you need him? Any comments before we do go out and start the draft for Game 2?
Yeah, it looks like the side of Return of the Millsticks will have all their bans this time around. So,
Yep.
that little handicap that the sheep herd had last time is gone.
So they do get
interesting
full.
to see what their third ban is going to be this time around.
Instead of a little Teemo. We shall see. We shall see. I'm very excited. Game 2. Let's hope everyone's mentally refreshed or ready for it. They still do have their sub 80 carry. So unfortunately their main roster, Karitsu, is not able to join us for tonight. But they do maintain full bans. And we're looking to get started right here, right now. We're just waiting for all the players to ready up here. We do have a slight lead in the series for Return of the Middlesticks with a relatively commanding lead other than what happened during a couple fights in the late game. It was relatively close back then, but for most of the game, it was clearly in Return of the Middlesticks' hands.
Yeah, as the bans do get underway, we do see the Samira immediately banned away as the first ban, like the last game. Don't want to see it, don't want anything to do with it, don't want to play it. Just a very strong champion, and Samira actually would have been a very bad pick into the composition that the sheep herd had last game because of how much hard CC they had. So really glad they're going away. I'm interested to see what options the sheep herd, what changes in their bans they're going to go ahead and do here.
We're seeing
looks like they're going with the same exact ones for the sheep herd as well, with the Annie ban being the same. So nothing new so far around. Or this time around. We will see a new ban here from Return to the Middlesticks, as they did not have this ban last time.
Here we go. We get to see what it is. Here it comes. I do respect a lot of these bans, though. Annie is deceptively strong, and we were able to see it on stream. We saw it completely decimate one of the most meta champions right now. Mr. Yone was not able to play the game. He was completely and utterly shut out, so I can see why the Annie is banned.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead and get rid of the Jarvan here. Don't want to deal with that Wombo combo. Despite the fact that they beat it, that Wombo combo was starting to get a little bit scary in the later stages of the game.
Was getting very close.
So I do like that ban.
They were starting to feel the pains of not being able to get out of the baby cage. Not run away. No dashing. You can't really play around it. The only way you can get out is flash, and unfortunately, that's a resource they're not willing to burn, so they are going to ban it away.
Yep. Curious to see what the sheep herd goes ahead and bans here as their final ban. Running out of time here, just passing the 40-second deadline here.
No ban out.
There we go.
There goes the Jhin.
Alright, that is a different ban from last time. The ban thing they banned last time was the Misfortune,
and it is picked up here.
And they're going to go ahead and first pick the Misfortune here. Probably going for, this is probably their best champion, Otso's best champion here. So wondering what the counter is going to be. I do not think they go for a Kaisa Seraphine bot lane this time around.
Too squishy. They are hovering a Senna pick here. I don't know how strong that is into a Misfortune. Unfortunately, Senna did fall out of the meta for the most part due to the item shift. The reason why is mainly because gold costs did go up on the items she did want to build, so unfortunately she did not find a place. They do lock it in though, so that means Mr. Sheep here is very confident on the pick and is willing to play it into the lane bully known as Misfortune.
Yeah, I mean, it still could be a support Senna, however, in the hands of Sheep will probably be a much more deadly champion. I don't think Sheep likes to share his kills, so.
I remember playing up against his center a couple times. It is very strong. He knows how to get those stacks. He knows how to trade. So I'm wondering if he'll be able to put that to use this game.
Yeah. I believe he was on stream when he had about 90 stacks in about 25 minutes on his passive and was very, very powerful. But that was a pre season 11 rework, item rework. So we have the Misfortune Leona as the response because this is probably going to be a Senna Seraphine bot lane.
I don't know how excited I am about seeing the Seraphine again. Considering how it did fairly well, although it just didn't have the chance to shine because they were so far behind. The enemy team was just so tanky. But into a Leona, that's a very scary lane to play into. And the Echo is also picked up for some backline dive here. Could be jungle, could be mid. We'll wait to see what it is.
Yeah, and this was a champion that was also banned last game away from Return to the Middle Sticks here, so probably very excited to pick this one up. Probably one of the players' mains, whoever it's going to be.
And we are seeing the Aatrox picked up.
A blind Aatrox. Aatrox is a very feast or famine champion. I have seen this champion absolutely 1v9 games, and I've also seen Aatrox be the cause of absolute destruction of games for his team.
We've seen pro players become cannon minions on Aatrox this season. Aatrox is not as safe of a blind pick as he was last season, although he is strong into the right comp. So I'm hoping to see Renekton ban out here. I do like the Gnar ban. Aatrox is not the greatest into that little Yordle champion or little prehistoric rat, but the Renekton pick is definitely something they do need to ban out if they are looking to play that Aatrox. They do have 4 more seconds to confirm a ban. They do go a little over time again, but
I think they might.
Oh, they do ban the Camille, which is also known as a hard counter to the champion. So they are trying to facilitate the Aatrox by banning some champions like the Gnar, like the Camille, but the simplest champion to play is the Renekton into the Aatrox, and it's incredibly powerful, especially if they do pair it up with a strong jungler. So this Aatrox here, not looking like the greatest blind pick.
Yeah, they do have pick priority here. It's going to either be a blind jungler or a blind mid laner here. I don't think that, well, it's going to be one or the other because the Echo is picked, so the Echo could still flex either way. They could choose to try and counter it in the jungle or in the mid lane here with their pick, which would send the, which would allow them to finish the rest of the comp here and allow for an actual counter pick in either one of those options, depending on where they go ahead and put the champions here. As we're running out of time here again.
They are going to pick up the Syndra. Or they're hovering it. I think they believe it is 45 seconds. So they do pick up the Syndra here. Syndra is relatively okay into Echo mid, but I do think Echo can outplay it by dashing over the stun with his E. But the Wukong here is picked up, and Wukong here is also a good champion into the Aatrox, although it is definitely more of a skill matchup than simply picking a Renekton. And I think Renekton, considering how it did last game, should have just been picked up again.
Oh!
Ivern! So it is Echo mid.
Yep, so that means the Syndra is going to go against the Echo here. I'm pretty sure they knew it was going to be an Echo Manda, guessing from op.gg. I guess this is probably his one trick here. Yep. And with the Syndra into the Echo here, I do believe the Syndra is going to win in the early stages of the game just because she can shove him away very easily before he can actually get these engages off, or just shove him entirely out of his W with the stun.
Yep. We are still waiting for this last pick to come through, sitting at 43 seconds once again. 45, 46. It is a little over time, but we shall see what they do pick up. And it is an Udyr picked up in the jungle. Ooh. Mr. Bear, Mr. Tiger, Mr. Phoenix, Mr. Turtle. We're here to see him. This will be his second appearance, I do believe, on stream, so I'm very excited to see what does happen.
This is going to be a very spicy game.
Definitely.
I have not seen Udyr, besides in pro play, I haven't seen it in any of my games pretty much anywhere. Besides in pro play, from the stuff that I watch online, I haven't seen it in any of our LAS, LRS, or even LTS games here. So picking the Udyr into the Ivern is going to be very, very interesting.
This is actually my second time seeing an Ivern here, or not an Ivern here, sorry, an Udyr here picked up. Although the other game, it did not perform optimally. It was unfortunately out-farmed and out-pressured throughout the entire game. So we do see the Aatrox locked in, up in the top lane, followed by the Udyr, as we suspected. Although Aatrox jungle is playable, it definitely isn't viable as an option, especially up into champions that are able to punish it, like the Ivern.
Yeah, but the Sheepherd's team identity is a lot of push and pull, a lot of disengage and re-engage from the side Sheepherd, whereas Return of the Middle Sticks has they do have a lot of hard dive options with the Wukong, the Echo, the Leona, and the Misfortune just ulting the entire enemy team that's locked in that hard CC. And the Ivern is going to be just putting shields on pretty much anybody who needs it to keep them alive.
Definitely. This Ivern is probably going to go for the same build as the Lilia last time, the Moonstone Renewer into the Staff of Flowing Water. Man, the healing done was crazy, and with shields to match that, it's going to be even harder to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, those shields might, the healing might not matter as much because of the composition that the Sheepherd has built this time around. They do have a lot of hard burst that just overrides the amount of heal, that can just straight up override the healing from Return of the Middle Sticks here. Because if this Syndra gets ahead and gets a QE ult onto that Misfortune, I don't think any healing or shields in the world will save her.
Not from that outplay button, no siree. Very true. That outplay button is very, very fun to play against now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, totally. Especially when they flash away from it.
And it still follows you.
Yep.
But we are here to see that they do have a lot of ways to lock down anyone they want. Although a lot of it is relatively single target, with the Senna route being generally a single target because most of the others will sacrifice themselves if they do get rooted by it. The Udyr has a point-and-click stun. A lot of good, well, one method to confirm CC with that Udyr. Although Seraphine with that Rylai's build might be able to land some, I do think her team does need some sustain, and I'm hoping to see a Moonstone Renewer coming out this game instead of a Rylai's first.
Yeah, I really hope that the Seraphine goes ahead and builds the Mythic. They don't have as much movement speed for the side of Return of the Middle Sticks this time around, so they don't need to focus on slowing the enemy champions as much as you did last time because of the Lilia and the Shen just being able to run at you pretty much. You don't have those types of champions this time around. The Wukong can just go invisible and dash onto you without much counterplay, so Rylai's won't be as useful against the Wukong, and the Echo, while he can be slowed down, he can still dash to you without the slow impeding him very much.
I think the name of the game here for the side of Sheepherd is vision control. A lot of these champions love to flank. The Echo, the Ivern, the Wukong, they all like to be off on the side, trying to collapse onto the rest of your team. So if you are not able to maintain that vision control, you're playing their game. So the Sheepherd does need to ward up, make sure they are able to keep tabs on all three of those, making sure they can't just jump them from out of vision, out of fog of war. But their comp, once again, is relatively straightforward to play. With a pretty solid identity, they do have a game plan going into it. I do hope, though, that they aren't just going to get outflanked and outmaneuvered, because that is the way they lose this game, by getting outmaneuvered.
Yeah, and Return of the Middle Sticks, this time they have the easier comp to
to execute on.
To execute, thank you. I was trying to remember the word. To execute with the hard engage from the Wukong, the Leona, the Echo, and the Misfortune over top there. It just a lot of easy hard CC to land,
Exactly.
and just the damage over top. Whereas Sheepherd, they're playing a very push and pull type comp. They don't want to hard engage on their own unless they get a really good Seraphine ultimate here. And on the same side, you're not going to see Aatrox go for a hard engage.
Nope, not at all.
Udyr's a secondary engage. Syndra's a secondary engage. Really, all you have for primary engage is the Lilia ultimate, followed up by the Syndra stun and the Udyr stun.
I think you bet the Seraphine ultimate, and we are going to go for a quick break here. Predictions are open in case you do want to vote. We will see you guys in a couple minutes. Take care, guys. See you then.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies.
Welcome back. Here we are starting off with the same sides this time. Sheepherd going in up against the return of the middle sticks here, up on blue side. And once again, it looks like they're going for another 5-point start. No crazy shenanigans once again. And I am going to close predictions. Probably should have done that a couple seconds ago. But other than that, yep, same start for just a simple 5-point. They do have they do have some prediction on where that Syndra is here. We do see some pings coming out from blue side, so they do know where she is.
Yeah, and interesting, the Udyr going ahead and starting with Phoenix form level 1 to go ahead and get that clear speed out a lot faster than he usually would.
So he is looking for that multi-camp clear. I think Turtle will probably be second just so he can continuously sustain. I do like the Aatrox skin though. That is a pretty one.
Yeah, that
The Mecha White.
when it first came out, that skin grew on me. When it first came out, before chromas existed, that skin was
Pacific Rim, baby. Looks so good.
it was hot garbage.
Oh, really? Was it?
When
oh.
that skin first came out, it was
Oh.
like it's so before chromas existed, it was just a standard blue looking Aatrox.
Oh,
This was
wow.
also pre-rework Aatrox, so
Right.
it looked horrible.
But
It
now,
looked absolutely horrible, but now it looks a lot better with chromas,
Oh,
and it
there-
looks like
here
we
comes a
might have
cheese.
a
uh-oh, that's Leona ignites, and it might just be a quick level 1 kill. Although Udyr's following up behind, they're doing a lot of damage. Plus the attack is procced on the center. She's taking a lot of damage, but exhausted is Misfortune, and she's getting slowed. Flash stun by the Udyr, and I think MF is just dead here. She does die. Leona might just be traded out too. It might just be a failed cheese from the side of Return of the Middlesticks. And that did not pay dividends. They start off the lane 0-2 and they have no way of getting back to lane. No TP, no nothing. They're just going to lose out on so much XP. Going to be down behind in a lane that's even harder to deal with. Although Echo out here trading very well into the Syndra, able to land the Electrocute and get his passive proc off.
Yeah, Syndra actually, I think, has Time Warp Tonic to actually survive some of this. Yep, it does have Time Warp Tonic there to survive a lot of this harass.
Oh,
from
Misfortune here taking another bad trade off to start the game. This bot lane here, walking up a little too far.
Let's go ahead and keep a track of these Senna stacks, by the way. Now, already at 7, and we haven't even gotten 3 minutes into the
7
game
stacks,
here.
not even 3? That's crazy. She's doing a lot of work already. I guess Sheep knows what he's doing. They are playing this lane out incredibly well. And it's the Aatrox here is just getting traded on. It's super hard to trade against the Wukong unless you have all your spells up. Although he is getting ganked here. It's probably going to die to the Ivern, but is able to dodge out on the dash with his, or dodge out on the route with his flash, and able to walk away. Probably forced to burn the TP and lose out on both summoners.
Yeah, and quite
He is
unfortunate.
staying,
Yeah, he does have to stay to catch this enormous wave
That
that's
is
shoving
true.
into his turret there. I don't think Ivern is going
Oh,
to come back up there.
out comes the Seraphine, is able to just obliterate the MF. She stepped up way too far here. That is just unfortunate timing. You can't walk up like that, although Syndra might just be in the same bad spot, although she does land the E onto both the Ivern and the Echo, able to keep herself alive, but she is forced to burn flash, although Aatrox is getting dove here, chunked out to about just over a 10th HP, is able to walk away, tail between his legs. Although Leona here taking a lot of poke, man, this range advantage is just absurd. They are playing it out so well with the positioning. You see a ping here out from mid-side. Here comes the Ivern once again. Dunkmaster Flash Q lands onto the Syndra, is able to eat the Echo away before he can get his dash off, and is able to walk away, and able to take a summoner away from the Ivern. Forced to burn that flash, and getting nothing from it. Although Scuttle is claimed.
Yeah, that is one Scuttle for each of them, as the Syndra does have to stay very careful as this Ivern is just camping the lane here.
We see the Udyr is behind a little bit in CS. A little bit being a little bit of an understatement, but I mean, game state is looking a lot better than it was last time.
Yeah, no, 3-0 on a comp that is harder to execute than your opponent. These are those mistakes that the other side can afford, but don't want to be making this early into the game, because if they can get a lead this early, then this game could end before their comp can actually come online and they team fight 5v5 and start winning these engagements.
Leona may be tanky, but she needs items to be tanky. So starting off 0-1 is not the way you want to do it. And MF is that early game bully, but she's also down 0-2. And the Senna's already stacking that tier, stacking her passive. Things are going in the favor of Sheepherd at the moment. We might have a series on our hands, fellas.
Yep, and once again, I think whoever I vote for, the opposite side wins. So
Aatrox
voted
here
for the
trading
sheep
very
herd
well.
last game. Yeah, starting to
see
see
some
that
pings
power
going
from
in.
the Aatrox there.
Wow,
Oh man.
that super far trade just can't respond. No response from the MF, can't do anything. Although we do see the Ivern coming in once again. Aatrox is just going to be obliterated here. Although he is able to drain tank his way through. He's able to live, but he's knocked up, rooted up, can't move, and unfortunately is going to fall.
That is quite unfortunate. The Wukong hitting 6 first there.
Yeah.
Just barely too. I think it was just a very
nice dodge out
missing
from
the Zenith Blade there. Taking
that
a
Leona is
lot
taking
of
so much damage. She might just die here. Heal is forced from the MF, and Leona walks away with about maybe a quarter of HP. Although MF here at the same health level, things are getting dangerous. You know what happened last time? You guys got a base. You can't stay.
Yeah, they need to get out of there, and
they know
they
Udir's
just go
here
ahead
too.
and take the dragon for free. This game is going completely different from the last game. This Senna is paying dividends, especially.
Might be the caster curse, Mr. Dream.
Yeah.
Might be the caster curse. Thank you, Gurf, for that one. We do see the Ivern jumping onto the Syndra, though. Might be able to land the stun. That Syndra is just not able to move, not able to play the game, and she's just daisy bonked up into oblivion. Ivern is going to take that one. Mr. Lex is on the board. 1-0.
Yeah, I'm very unfortunate for the Syndra there. Doesn't have TP to get back to lane, and that's a massive wave shoving into her turret as well. The Aatrox has hit 6, though, so another walk up to the top side might be a problem for the duo of Ivern and Wukong, just because of Aatrox's healing when he's in that ultimate, and he almost killed the Wukong when he was level 5. With 6, I don't believe the Ivern has the option to go up topside anymore.
A lot of damage happening onto the Leona once again. She is forced to walk away. Aatrox with a level disadvantage here. Wukong getting a gigantic trade-off, although he is able to get the passive proc onto the clone and heal up for some of that damage taken.
And Udyr has walked down to the bot side, which means Ivern might be starting up the Riftchild. No, it looks like he's going to go and take the red buff here.
Oh, the good trade from the Aatrox there, making up for that gigantic loss about 10 seconds ago. Although Ivern is looking, he's looking. Although Wukong might just die before he's able to make it up there topside. Wukong is looking to go in up on the map. Ivern is pinging for it. We're looking to see. He is able to dash out with the Umbral dash away from Ivern's little Q basketball. Aatrox is just going to be able to catch this wave. He has the Doran shield, is able to just heal all of this damage up. So, not bad overall. He is down just over 20 CS, but he does have a giant wave to catch. So it should not be that bad in the end.
Yeah, I will say that for the bot side, despite having such a rough early game, the fact that it's only about a 20 CS difference here between them is...
Udyr might just be caught up by 3, and Echo is going to claim that one with the passive. He stepped up too far.
Yep.
And he was
punished. They knew he was there trying to get something back, trying to take that red buff back away because the Ivern had taken it from his top side. Unfortunately, not level 6 yet versus the level 7 from the...
We do have a trade going up here on the mid lane. Parallel Convergence is missed. Syndra is able to walk away with the phase rush and is able to get some decent poke down before the trade is over. We hear the Ivern ball coming up from the bot side. Stun is missed by the Leona, and Seraphine is able to land a double charm, is going to sacrifice herself to keep her AD carry alive. Although burns the stopwatch, is able to live for so long with the sustain from the W from the Senna R, but unfortunately is not able to walk away from that one. And burns the stopwatch. I think it's better to accept your death there. There's 3 on you. I don't think you're living.
Yeah, I think was just trying to put as much damage down as possible to try and get a trade kill for the Senna, but unfortunately was just unable to do that. That's the problem with the Senna Seraphine bot lane. If they get hard engaged on by this Leona Misfortune, it is really hard for them to get out here. So you see another short trade going for, going on the top side. You see that damage is starting to mean not as much from the Wukong here, him having to burn his pot here, as the Aatrox is starting to scale up despite being a kill down and about getting close to about 30
20.
CS
Oh,
deficit here.
sitting at 20 right now. If the Aatrox wants to press the issue, he should buy a pair of steel caps, which will definitely help out against that Wukong matchup.
Yeah, I don't think he will though. I think he's going to play for the team game, because if you look on, there's just a lot.
Oh my god, that trade on the bot side chunks the MF to about half HP from the Seraphine alone with that electrocute proc.
Yeah, and that's the power of going electrocute on Seraphine. There's just, you can't run away from her abilities if she hits you with one of them.
Very, very scary. But like you said, if they do get hard engaged on, you can't play it out. Seraphine needs to be alive in order to do Seraphine thing. So if she's engaged on, that's not happening.
Yeah, as we see the Iron Spike whip out for the Wukong here.
You see a trade coming on from the Wukong, and unfortunately is forced to burn the R just to survive. Although that does mean Dragon up for the side of Revenge of the Middle Sticks, or Return of the Middle Sticks. So first two drags have been claimed, and we are going to sit with a Cloud Soul. What does your list tell you about this predicament here?
Let's see, it was Infernal first and then Mountain, right?
Flash burn from both Leona and Syndra. Syndra is able to stun the Echo, make sure he's able to walk away, but the Q lands from the Ivern, and he's also able to claim another kill on the Syndra. 2-0 up against that mid laner is Mr. Lexus up here with the Ivern, kind of styling on the Syndra here. She's not allowed to play the game. Although he is walking up on the top side, Aatrox here forced to proc the R to run away. Oh, the prediction from the Leona is able to land the E, and he is ignited. He's not going to heal for nearly as much as he wants to. Although he is trying, he might just pop here. MF forced to R the wave just so she doesn't get dove. And Aatrox is unfortunately going to fall here, going over towards the Wukong, who already has a 2-kill lead and a 20 CS lead as well.
My list was actually correct this time.
Ooh.
Infernal Mountain makes Cloud.
Let's go! Another one to add to the victory books. We do see Rift Herald being started up by the side of Return of the Middle Sticks. He may also claim the Scuttle Crab. A lot is happening.
Yeah, despite the fact that there was an early lead starting off for the Sheep Herd here, those 3 kills are all that they've gotten here, as the game has shifted in momentum back to the side of Return of Middle Sticks. They are getting 3 plates here though, for the Senna, who is sitting on
a full mana Mune.
Yeah, and 30 stacks on the passive as well.
She is very strong, but she is also very squishy, and so is the Syndra here as Echo goes for a trade. Unfortunately, not able to follow through with the phase dive.
Yeah, and Syndra is just going to head back under the turret, safe and sound, not making a noise, as this Echo is very, very powerful right now.
We see a full Gore Trigger from the Wukong going in for a trade against the Aatrox, but unfortunately, it's not able to do all that much up against him.
Yeah, the Wukong's ultimate is up again for a hard engage, but the Aatrox is as well, and the only reason he won last time was because of the
help of the Ignite, the 60% healing debuff that is able to be applied with a single button press. Very outplayable.
Yep. One of those very wonderful
changes that Riot Games decided to make.
Yep. I mean, in this day and age of healing, I think it's needed.
I think it is needed, definitely. Aatrox might just die here. He is forced to pop the R, Wukong is forced to flash, but Aatrox here is living for so long, able to get the passive R, able to land the 3rd Q. He's living for so long in a fight he should not win by any means. And Udir's coming here. He's coming. Here comes the Phoenix. Burn, baby, burn. But Wukong is able to drain tank so much of the damage and forcing the Senna R out just to keep her bearer alive.
Oh, man. This game is starting to get out of control in the solo lanes here. Where
it's spiraling.
The side, yeah, this Misfortune Leona are having a really tough time in the bot side, but the rest of the map is struggling.
Yeah, the Udyr is down almost 20 CS. The Syndra's down 10 and also down a kill.
Yeah, has a 2-level deficit as well between the junglers.
Oh, they
The
are going to claim
Aatrox-
first tower here with the Rift Herald summoned up here. Down goes the mid tower in just a couple seconds, and Syndra is forced to just walk away, although she is forced to run away because she was rooted by the Ivern.
Yeah, doesn't have flash to get away from these
Oh,
anymore.
Senna is
as
stunned
the-
up, rooted up, and stuck in the middle of a Misfortune ultimate. However, they are able to turn it. The bullet time is not enough to actually confirm the kill. Senna is able to just live. Seraphine doing so much damage, but a teleport is coming through from the Wukong, or is it the Echo? We shall see. It is the Wukong able to monkey bonk down onto the Seraphine. No way. Go to horny jail. Down she goes. And it might just be game here. Oh, here comes the Syndra landing a massive East Q combo onto the entire backline of Return of the Middle Sticks. Although Leona is 1 HP, she is going to fall eventually. Echo is forced away. They are looking to dive this. Udyr is doing so much damage, but he stands in the middle of the Echo clone and just gets obliterated by the replay button of the Echo. Syndra is looking to get dove here by the Echo, by the Wukong, looking to tank it up here, trying to force the wave to be away, but she's just going to get killed by the phase dive and falls in the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, Aatrox, unable to go ahead and join that fight there, is going to take this tower on the top side of the map. The Misfortune definitely cannot 1v1 an Aatrox at any point here.
That is a 2-for-2 overall tower trade. But that fight was a lot closer than it should have been, especially without the Aatrox there.
Yeah, I think the side of Return of the Middle Sticks needs to be a little bit worried there, because that was a 4v5 and they still almost lost that engagement.
That was very close. Oh, Seraphine here
as
might be
the-
getting caught out again. Down she goes, is thirsted on by the Gore Drinker. And Senna does get stunned up here, forced to burn the R, although Syndra lands another massive QE combo and is flashed on by Leona and might just die for landing it. She is trying to get away. She has flash. She is able to flash the wall, is able to walk away with her life. But that may be just traded in return for the Dragon, although Ivern sitting at just over just over 5th HP. Although they aren't going to contest it, they are just going to give the objective and put them that much closer to soul points.
Yeah, and you really do not want a Wukong with Cloud Soul.
You don't want a monkey running. Too
No.
fast. Too furious. Uh-oh. Syndra might just be caught out here by 3. She's getting bonked. She's getting thirsted on Gore Drinker. Able to confirm the kill for the Wukong. And Seraphine is looking to get dove here. Is not able to land the stun. Is able to land the charm, though. But the replay button from Echo is able to keep himself alive. Although Otso is sitting at 1 HP here. This could be a bad flank. Oh, that bullet time is doing so much damage here. Aatrox able to claim so much here. Able to heal up, keep himself alive. Here comes the Udyr off the side flank, although it's a little rough. Sheep is going down to the monkey. And Echo is, monkey kill. Monkey see, monkey do. He saw his team kill. He goes for kills too. Down goes the entire team.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting the Wukong ultimate to be up so soon after that last engagement there. But they gotta remember they just got that 10% CDR buff, so it's going to be coming up a lot faster now with that 10%. And this game, despite the early start, is just spiraling out of control for
It's
the side of the
snowballing
Sheepherd.
the wrong
it
way.
started out so well for them, and with the comp that's harder to execute than the side of Return of the Middle Sticks, they're going to be very hard pressed to actually go ahead
That
and win.
Wukong is 10-0. That is scary. That is a crazy monkey with a big bat looking to bonk all the enemies down with his little bonk maneuver.
Yeah, and the Ivern has went ahead and finished the Moonstaff combo there, being able to put out a lot of healing.
Let's check it out. Let's see. It's already done 2,100 healing. Very strong, very strong item. And the Seraphine once again has brushed the Rylai's and is starting to build towards the Zhonya's Hourglass.
Oh man, I really wish.
Aatrox is caught out here. He has no chance against a 10-0 Wukong. Wow, that Aatrox just got bursted down to half HP. Now bursted down to almost 0. Might be 100-0, but no, he's able to survive for so long. He's able to land those Q crits, but it's not enough. Monkey stays at full health. Monkey heals the same amount. Monkey has just as much Omnivamp with that Ravenous Hydra.
Yeah, and that's what people are expecting to happen in that movie coming out.
Udyr might just be caught out here. Phoenix Man has to run, forces the replay button out of Echo. He is able to get out alive with his life and able to secure some Krugs too. So not so bad overall. Yeah. But Baron is started up here. Udyr is Chung. He has to try and contest it because this could just be a game-ending push here. If they are able to confirm an early game Baron, extend the gold lead, and just push down, get rid of those towers, especially at the top outer. It's going to be really rough if they aren't able to. Udyr is sitting on vision. He is just forced to back away and might just be giving this objective. They are looking to fight here. It's looking to be a 4v5 here. Wukong is just bonking down the Seraphine once again. She's chunked to half health. But here comes the Aatrox TPing into the middle of 4. Does he have the World Ender? He does not have the World Ender. He's just going to get obliterated. Although he is able to heal for so much from the Seraphine, from the Senna, able to live. Baron goes down. A lot of the fight is just split, and everyone is just taking so much damage. Everyone's so low. Wukong might just fall to Senna here. She can't kite that.
She just got 1,000 gold shut down.
1,000 gold. Otso is looking to kill the Senna, but Awesome Sheep is looking to run away. Flashes the Q from the Ivern, although there's a lot of move speed happening here. Echo is looking to run her down, but Senna's moving faster. And she is able to get to the cloud, the little cloud burst from the soul, and run away. Uh-oh, she's getting flanked. Might just be another one. Is not able to dodge out on this route, and is going to fall to the Echo.
Yeah, and the inhibitor was taken by minions there, so they're just going to push into the base here.
This is looking very scary. This could be game here. Daisy summoned up. Aatrox finally has the World Ender, able to land a lot of spells onto the Ivern, but unfortunately it's just not able to kill him. He just doesn't take that much damage, or moreover, he just heals it up. 3,400 now, guys. It's only been 2 minutes. Healing so much.
Oh, man. And meanwhile, the Misfortune is going ahead and pushing the top side, grabbing the top inner turret there for herself. Despite the fact that the Senna goes ahead and finishes the... it gets that 1,000 gold shutdown. Finishing up the Kraken Slayer there, has the Boots of Swiftness, as the...
Down goes the Syndra. She just gets bursted. Replay button not even needed from the Echo.
Though he did go really low there. Almost getting taken out by that turret.
Little scary, but he's confident. He's strong. He knows what he's doing. He knows the number. He's calculated too much in his head. He knows he's going to live that. Things are looking dire once again. They're in such a bad game state after such an early start. Udyr, unfortunately, is not paying dividends so far other than that very, very early game.
Yeah, and the saddest part about it, too, is that extremely powerful lead that the bot side had. The Misfortune is not only stronger right now than the Senna, but also ahead in levels.
Here comes the Echo, going to miss the phase dive over the wall, but still is able to land onto the Seraphine, and she is executed by the Collector. She is added to Misfortune's collection. Down she goes. Things are happening here. Wukong is able to get over the wall, able to monkey spin, monkey do, and unfortunately that just means this might just spell the end of the entire team of Sheepherd. Aatrox is trying his heart out, but he's just going to get burst down. He's going to get added to Misfortune's collection as well, and this is the game-ending push here. This is going to be game here. Quick one for game number 2. And unfortunately down goes Sheepherd, and with that, the series is over.
Yeah, despite such an excellent start for the Sheepherd, not able to translate it anywhere else in the map. As you could see, the top lane going 1-6, mid lane going 1-7. We have an unkilled Echo in the mid lane and a 1-death Wukong in the top lane.
If you don't mind, if you could send me the stat sheet, my league client has once again given me some strife and not given me a stat sheet to look at. But,
yeah, same here.
Okay, so we are stuck once again in a precarious situation where we don't have a stat sheet to look at, but I definitely think we can assume that it was pretty one-sided from the mid-game onwards.
Yeah, the early game definitely was the Sheepherd favored, but as the game progressed, they started losing in places more and more, and they just weren't able to catch up as the game progressed forward, and it was just a much more convincing victory from Return of the Middle Sticks this time.
Definitely. Things were looking a little dire at the end of Game 1 for Return of the Middle Sticks, especially since they were almost losing the fights that they should have hard stomped. But this time, they were able to claw their way back from a pretty rough early start, play the mid-game extremely well, and just claim objectives, do everything they needed to be, just be in the right spot at the right time. I think that was very important for them to win the game. Just being present, having Lexus there when he was needed, having Winged Nation just being able to flank and do what he wants, and Cardinals just winning his lane out, especially from a losing state.
Yeah, it was a very good job from the side of Return the Mill Sticks, realizing that hey, those 3 kills don't matter. We have this game. This is going to be a wrap. We're just going to win this game. And the Aatrox giving up that death early in the game to the Wukong just spiraled the Wukong out of control.
Definitely.
And the Syndra not able to do much of anything against the Echo in the mid lane, especially with the pressure from the Ivern as well. Just a lot of hard CC that the Syndra had to deal with, and all she has is Flash and QE to try and get away from it. Unfortunately, did not pan out. Awesome Sheep played his heart out, but unfortunately was not able to put the team on his back this time around.
I don't think Senna's one of those champions that is able to put the team on her back. She is a very slow auto attacker, very hard for her to actually put out DPS. She's more of a burst damage 80 carry, and unfortunately, it was not able to carry the game. Although he did play incredibly well, he played the lane phase very well, but he had to watch as his team crumbled. He had to watch as the solo laners just kept dying over and over to the likes of Winged, to the likes of Cardinals, and to the likes of Lexus. It was incredibly difficult for them to play it out after they did give up those early deaths. But I think the Pearl from in the clam here was the bot lane. They played it incredibly well game 2. They did what they could, but I think it was a couple of misplays. They did end up getting, or the Seraphine was caught out a couple of times in that mid to late game, which did end up trading it for objectives. Her life for Dragon was definitely something that was not ideal to happen, or definitely not something you want to happen.
Yeah, it's a very sad story for the side of the Sheep Herd, going now 0-3 in these 3 weeks. Really needs to start reflecting and thinking about what they need to do to improve in these coming weeks. They're definitely not out of the playoffs yet. We still have a lot of league to play through, but
6 more weeks, baby.
if these losses continue to pile up, it's going to be harder and harder for them to reach that goal.
It's definitely doable. I think they had the right idea with their drafts. Although I think they have the right idea. They have something, but what they need to do is work on synergy. I think they're not playing their comps right, or they're just not communicating properly about where things are on the map. I think I said vision control is the name of the game, and unfortunately they did not have that much vision control. Like both games, we were able to see that Return of the Middle Sticks just had a lot of vision control throughout the entire enemy jungle, and was able to predict where they would be and catch them out when they were out of position.
Yeah, hopefully next week they manage to turn around and get a win under their belts. It can be very demoralizing to go 0-3, especially this early in the season. And just don't lose heart there. You have the makings of a great team. You just need to fit those pieces into the proper place. Because despite the game, especially game 2 being such a one-sided game, there were bright spots, and even in game 1, despite the hard stomp that they endured in the early game, they still managed to claw their way back in that game and extend it much longer than it should have lasted.
Definitely. I think they have the makings of a good team. They just need to work things out with each other. I think a lot of it has to do with communication. If they are able to communicate better with one another, if they are able to get that synergy that they do need as teammates, I think it's a lot easier. One thing that could help facilitate that is a little bit of jungle tracking. They were not able to keep tabs on the Ivern throughout the entire game, and that did cause the death of their mid laner quite a few times. So if they are able to work on their vision control, work on communicating whereabouts of team members like the Leona, like the supports, like the junglers throughout the entire game, or the mid laners, it will prevent these solo deaths or not solo deaths, rather, more like gank deaths that have happened quite a bit. So if they are able to just talk a little bit more, or I guess communicate better, things can work out, and I definitely hope they do. So we are going to send it off to a quick break while we do get things set up for the recap of what happened. Hope to see you guys there. Take care. See you in a bit.
'Cause nothing ever comes so close before you let me go. If I can't have you for my own, then I don't wanna know you let me fall for something. And it ended all for nothing all of a sudden. If only I could press rewind, I swear I'm barely getting by. Really meant what I said when I said you don't leave this head of mine. 'Cause you made everything okay. I can't believe I let you get away. I hate walking in my shoes. It was all a lie I fell for. Don't want nothing I can lose. I'd rather have.
All right, everyone, welcome back. So, before we do end up the night, we do have to announce our player of the game for Game 2, and it was Mr. Cardinals29 on the Monkey Man himself, Mr. Wukong, playing the game really well, especially considering the poor trading patterns that he was taking up in the early levels. However, with that help from Lexus himself, he was able to turn that lane around and just smash it. Make sure that Aatrox was not able to play the game. Make sure that healing meant nothing because he healed just as much. Overall, it was pretty fun to watch, and Wukong was able to come out on top as our player of the game and definitely deserved it. So, a little bit about Game 2. It wasn't looking good at the beginning for the side of Return of the Middlesticks. They were down 0-2, 0-3, but they were able to turn it around with some kills, with some good ganks. It was definitely catalyzed by the ganks of Mr. Lexus. If he was not in the right place at the right time, things would have turned out a whole lot different. So, props to him. He definitely played it very well. He was where his team needed him. He kept them in the game when they were down, and he pulled them across the finish line both games. But if it wasn't for the solo laners, especially Mr. Cardinals up here, just going crazy, going Monkey Man over. He's basically King Kong here. He was just able to completely and utterly dumpster that Aatrox, and although it is slightly Wukong favored, Wukong has to play it very well and take good trades. If he's not able to do that, it's incredibly difficult. But that Wukong was definitely deserving of player of the game. He was there when his team needed him. Those teleports down to the bot lane made sure he was able to facilitate them because they were behind. So without that, I mean, it could have been a doomed game from the start. But they were able to pull it back, and it was a very exciting series to watch. In Game 1, things were looking very good from the start. They played it out very well. They were able to just make sure that things went their way. They made sure they got all the objectives. They only gave up one Drake. They just made sure they were in the right spot at the right time. They have very good jungle pathing. They have very good communication from the solo laners towards their bot lane. And I think that synergy is very good going on to the upcoming weeks of the split. So I'm definitely excited to see what Return of the Middlesticks has in store for us in the future. I think they have a lot of good things going for them, and if they keep it up, they're definitely looking to be a top team. For the other side, though, they played their hearts out. They did try, but it wasn't enough, and I think there are a couple things that they do need to work on. The sheep herd did have some issues with mispositioning, with not being able to keep track of the jungler, and I think that is an issue they do need to work on. If they aren't getting caught out as often, I think they definitely have a better chance because they're not going to be giving up some unreturned kills. However, they are able to play counter dives very well, especially what we saw happen in Game 2 near the beginning when there was a 5-man dive to 4, and they were able to come out just about even. So they definitely have synergy in team fights, but I think they need to work on synergy all around the map together when they're apart. So keeping track of the jungler, not mispositioning. I definitely think that the support could have positioned better, and considering they were playing a Seraphine, they did get caught out quite a few times. They do need to with their jungler instead of being the one up front trying to place vision. So if they are able to position a little bit better, things could have turned out differently because less gold would have been given over. But overall, a couple of pointers. Just working on positioning as a whole and communication about whereabouts of enemy teams or enemy team members. Just working on that, I think they have a great chance. They definitely have a great bot lane. They have great synergy, especially in team fights. And they are able to play team fights out incredibly well. So if they can work on just getting through the early and mid game in a better state without losing so much CS, a lot of tower plates, they will definitely be a strong team. But right now, I think they just need to keep their heads held high because game 1, they should have lost that in 20 minutes, but they were able to keep it going for so long, and they were able to almost turn it. They had so many close fights. If they just itemized a little bit better, they could have been able to win it and maybe turn the game. But overall, I think both teams did play well, though victory did go over to Return of the Middlesticks, and they did deserve it. They were the better team on the day, but there were some bright spots for both teams, and I think that the Sheep Herd has a chance. They just need to work a little bit together, maybe play some more games together. Just overall, they have the pieces. They just need to put them together. With that said, take care, everyone. Have a good night. Take care, and I hope to see you guys on Monday, where I will be back on the analyst desk once again. So take care.